Alright, we are live. Welcome everybody. Happy Thursday. I hope everybody is doing well. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Today we're going to be covering a new case on this channel, Riley Strand. He went missing March 8th out of Nashville, Tennessee. He went to a bar with his college friends and sadly possibly was overserved or not overserved, but got too intoxicated and ended up getting kicked out of the bar. And there's surveillance video showing him stumbling out of the bar. And sadly, his friends couldn't come with him because they had to pay their tab. By the time they paid their tab and went outside, Riley was already gone. And sadly, he walked towards down the road towards a bridge which has the Cumberland River, and from there's a couple of surveillance videos that capture him kind of walking from block to block, and then after he gets towards the bridge, he hasn't been seen since, and so now he's been missing since March 8th, so over 5-6 days now, sadly. So we're going to be covering that case. Before we get started though, quickly, just going to feature Aiden Clune because that's going to be a trip we're going to be doing next month, April 13th and the 14th. So literally a month from now, we're going to go out there and search for him. This will be the second time going out and searching for Aiden. He went missing 2 years ago near Wells, Nevada in April of 2022. Sadly, he pulled his truck over to the side of the highway. He was suffering from some kind of mental episode and paranoia, and sadly, he wandered off into the mountain range and hasn't been seen since, and so we've been trying to find him. So we're going to be part of that search. We're trying to raise some money to get a drone. I usually don't really ask for money. If people donate, that's awesome, but we are trying to kind of raise some, so if you can donate, that would be great. If you can't, no worries, but I will leave that up, and then I've been kind of trying to keep track of everybody that's donated so we can thank them once we get to the goal of, I'm going to try to raise 1,000, and I think we're a quarter of the way there. So alright, let's get going. Just in case if you hadn't seen the video, I'm going to quickly play this.
His name is Riley Strand. Okay, and what color clothing was he last seen wearing? He's wearing jeans, boots, and a half black shirt, half brown, light brown.
Where is Riley Strand? A 22-year-old visiting Nashville last weekend for a fraternity formal remains missing tonight.
When his friends last saw him after he was asked to leave Luke Bryan's bar on Broadway.
My mom was also wondering, do you want that bar to be liable? We know that Riley was asked to leave because he had been overserved. I mean, do you want...
Welcome back to the channel, everybody, where we cover true crime, mystery to the missing. This is some of the last known video of college student Riley Strand, just 22 years old, from Springfield, Missouri. He went on a trip with some friends to Nashville, Tennessee. They went out to the famous Luke's 32, Luke Bryan's bar on Broadway, for some fun on Friday, March 8th. Later that evening, Strand was kicked out of the bar because he was too intoxicated. He was kicked out without incident, as family and friends of Strand said he's a sweet kid and non-confrontational.
Saturday afternoon, about 16 hours after Riley was last seen, some of his friends came here to the Central Precinct hoping to report him missing. When they couldn't get into the lobby, that's when they called 911.
Okay, what is his name? His name is Riley Strand. Okay, and what color clothing was he last seen wearing? He's wearing jeans, boots, and a black...
Riley Strand is caught on multiple cameras stumbling down the street a few blocks from the bar, and it appears he hits his head really bad. In the next video, it seems he is touching and grabbing his head, and from there he is acting really dazed and confused. Strand is sadly caught on another video for the last time near a toll bridge next to the Cumberland River. His last cell phone ping was just before that at 9:58 p.m. From here, it's unclear what happened to Strand, if foul play is a factor or did Strand accidentally fall into the river. There are other concerns as to whether if Riley Strand was drugged at the bar due to his strange behavior, stumbling down the street. Sadly, this wouldn't be the first time a male college student stumbled out of a bar and went missing, and they're found in a body of water. I pray this is not the same outcome for Riley Strand. It's been over 5 days since he was last seen, and we will be covering his story more in depth in our next live show. Thank you so much for watching. So, turn up my volume. So there's just a little recap of his story, and so I'm going to pull up his stuff here. So yeah, just 22 years old, has his whole life ahead of him. And yeah, I see some people in the chat. It's never good when there's a bar next to a body of water, it seems. Not a good sign. I can't remember what the statistics off the top of my head, but when people go missing, the biggest thing is they're found in a body of water. And hopefully that's not the case, but as we go through the case, he is definitely last seen by the bridge, which is scary to think about. And so let me just move this so you guys can see it. But yeah, just a handsome kid. Reminds me of me, except I wasn't as tall as him. 6'6". I'm 6'3". I can imagine being just any 3 more inches. I know it says 6'6" or 6'7". I'm not sure which one. I think it's 6'6", but either way, he's a tall guy, around 160 pounds. And yeah, that's what I was when I was 6'3". I think I was 180. But yeah, reminds me a lot of me when I was his age. Tall and skinny, had a high metabolism, could eat anything, and wouldn't put any weight on because we just had that high metabolism. But here is his missing poster. Last seen wearing brown square toe boots, blue jeans, and a black and white button-up shirt. Which is this one here. Let me go back here. Which we see him kind of stumbling. Which is this one seen here. And he was last seen at Luke Bryan's Luke 32's bar. And we're going to go through...
Where is...
I'm going to play this news clip. And then I got all the... Because he's caught on 3 different cameras. Actually, I think there's more... surveillance footage, but they haven't. I don't know if they'll release any more. It's been over 5 days. They may, but he was spotted on him coming out of the bar, and then there's also one near the bridge, which, from what I understand, has not been released.
This is Riley Strang, the 22-year-old visiting Nashville last weekend for a fraternity formal, remains missing tonight. Thanks for joining us here at 6, everyone. I'm Rory Johnston.
And I'm Hunter Hoagland. His friends last saw him after he was asked to leave Luke Bryan's bar on Broadway. This story has caught the attention of people all across the country, and Rory with a lot of unanswered questions.
Yeah, so many. We know so many of you care about this, and like us, you're hoping for a positive outcome. News Channel 5's Chris Davis sharing the latest details that we've uncovered.
Oh.
For 5 days, they've searched low along the riverbank and put his picture high up on billboards. But there's still no sign of college student Riley Strang.
It's a very sad situation. I wouldn't wish it upon anybody.
Music City Wine and Spirits heard about the missing 22-year-old, but didn't think about their surveillance cameras until a construction worker and then Riley's own mother asked them to check.
We were able to go back on the cameras at that time and look at the picture more clear and see that it was the kid.
And I think that is huge. I think that's a huge clue of what, if it was just, over intoxication, and then what appears to be him slamming his head into this concrete, I don't know if it's the pole or the cylinder base to the light. Either one, it's cement. I've hit my head on cement because I skateboarded for 12 years. I never got concussed from it, but I've had a few friends get concussed. and not know it. Luckily, it was a mild concussion. But man, and the one thing you don't notice, and we'll look at it as we go more in depth into this case, is he's going downhill. Actually, you can kind of tell if you kind of look at the way the cars are kind of parked from where the camera angle, but we'll look at it better. But yeah, the way he travels, it's going downhill. So he's already has his balance. And for some reason, he's kind of jogging there, and clearly stumbles and goes headfirst into this pole. And we'll zoom in on it, but I think he might have got a mild concussion. I would be surprised. And that added to whatever was going on with him, and that's just not a good sign. Quickly, let me get to chat here. Baby Kisses, thank you so much for the $2 super sticker. You are so awesome. Every little bit helps. We get more people in here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're going over Riley Strand's case. This is a new case we were covering. Been missing now over 5 days since March 8th. Just went to go drink with his college buddies, and sadly was possibly overserved, got too intoxicated, and had to be kicked out of the bar. It was without incident. He went quietly, and sadly his friends, they couldn't leave right away because they had to go pay their tabs, and by the time they got done paying their tabs, he had wandered off. And the hotel is, I think, kind of the other direction that he went. So obviously, he's in a town that he's probably not familiar with. I don't know if he's been there before, but he's comes from Missouri, so it's quite possible this is, this downtown area is, unfamiliar to him. And of course, being if he was drunk, or who knows if he was drugged, didn't know which way he was going. And quickly, I just want to get to Wallflower for the $20 super sticker. That is so awesome. Thank you so much. If you're new to the channel, we like to cover true crime and cover missing person cases. And not only that, but we do actually go out and look for the missing. And we've got our first mission a month from now. And we're trying to raise some drone money because I need to get a new drone. And so anyway, we're about a quarter of the way there. So any donations would be great. I usually don't ask, but if you can, that'd be amazing. All right, continuing.
Sure enough, one angle shows Riley stumble and collide with a pole on Church Street, stay on the ground for a moment, then stand back up.
Oh, yeah.
Their second angle shows him struggling to continue down Church Street. Then, where Church turns into Gay Street at the river, a Metro Police camera shows Riley looking around for a moment before continuing towards the river.
Usually someone is with that person to help him.
Sharif says working in the heart of downtown, he's used to seeing people struggling to walk down the street. There's just one key difference.
They usually have someone with them to guide them, to call them an Uber, take them to the hotel, not just let them be.
Saturday afternoon, about 16 hours after Riley was last seen, some of his friends came here to the Central Precinct, hoping to report him missing. When they couldn't get into the lobby, that's when they called 911.
Okay. What is his name? His name is Riley Strain. Okay, and what color clothing was he last seen wearing? He's wearing jeans, boots, and a half black shirt, half brown, light brown.
So what took so long? According to Riley's family, his fraternity brothers initially thought Riley made it back to their hotel. The next morning, they started searching and stopped by the Davidson County Sheriff's Office first before being redirected to Metro Police.
Well, I hope we find him. I hope he's okay.
In the meantime, the searches low and high will continue. Chris Davis, News Channel 5.
So
we hope they find him, Chris. Thank you. We've got another new development tonight as well. The Tennessee Alcoholic Beverage Commission has just launched an investigation. They are now looking into whether or not bartenders at Luke Bryan's bar on Broadway overserved the 22-year-old.
Yeah, they have to be careful. I worked at a bar. I didn't work as a bartender. I was just the door greeter. But yeah, we always, this was over 25 years ago, but we always made sure, especially the females. Any girl walking out that was by herself. I mean, because we had a lot of employees. It's probably one of the bigger bars here in Salt Lake. It's called the Westerner Bar. And anybody, because I was literally right by the front door, because there's just one entrance. They did have emergency exits, but one way in, one way out, and we always made sure that there was nobody. If there was somebody stumbling out by themselves, especially females, there would be somebody going out to make sure they had a ride, make sure and talk to them and make sure they have some kind of plan to get home safely. Sadly, that was not the case here. So this is where, this is Nashville, this is Broadway downtown, and he leaves the bar or gets kicked out of the bar, Luke Bryan's bar, at 9:40. And there is surveillance, but that hasn't been released, as far as I know. I think the parents have seen that. And then he travels, now his hotel, I wish I would have noted this earlier, his hotel, I forget the name of it, but he should have gone pretty much the opposite way. He should have immediately went down, it'd be west. But unfortunately, he travels down this 3rd Ave, and then he takes a right down Church Street, and that's where he's caught for the first time, and he stumbles into that pole. That's the first fit. Okay, I gotta move my phone. I'm getting static. Anyway, the first footage that we see is him when he stumbles into that pole. And yeah, it's weird. He's kind of jogging or running. I don't know if maybe because it's downhill, and we'll get a look at it here in a bit, that maybe, he's starting to lose his balance, and so he's, starts gaining momentum and running. It is weird that he is kind of running. And I've never somebody said, talking about square-toed boots. Yeah, I've never worn those. I don't know how those feel but yeah, it doesn't sound comfortable. And then he's caught on the next camera, which is just right here. But this is the first one, and head first into that thing. And he's clearly injured by this and we'll look at the next one, because he's holding his head. But yeah, he's got a sprint right into that. Play that one more time. I know we're going to bring that up because, the smiley face theory. There are some very suspicious cases with young college men going to a bar and then sadly being found in a body of water. But what's strange is they'll be missing for like weeks to a month or more. And when they find them, the body is still in really good shape. And it's almost like they were kidnapped and then dumped in the water days before the body's found. So that kind of coincides with the smiley face. But here you can see he goes and grabs his head here. Oh, I feel terrible about this kid. And it's hard to tell, but this is, you can tell the way the camera is pointed. It's at an angle, so it makes this look like it's level, but this is all kind of downhill. Smiley face is not necessarily in one place. There's a lot of it's in the eastern part of the states, Michigan. I forget the states. We've covered it on this channel before. We will actually look at some of them. But then there's these guys in Texas that have been going missing too. So I don't know. It's really, really strange. But yeah, here's just kind of another look at the second one. We have 3 videos. First one's him hitting the pole. Then it's this one. And this is right after he hits the pole. I mean, this is I believe this is Church Street. So this is like, you know, maybe a minute after he slammed his head into the pole. Clearly, seems like he got injured from that, sadly. It's horrible. And then this is the last footage. Although they do have more. This is the last footage they have released of him. And this is close to the Cumberland River. And I just feel bad because he's walking past all these people. And the fact that he's just such a sweet kid. We'll hear some interviews from the family, you know, saying he's just a nice kid, non-confrontational. And it's just too bad no one offered him an Uber ride. And clearly he is out of it. And it's almost like he's realizing he's going. You can tell he doesn't know where he's going. And again, if you're just tuning in, he's not from this area. He's from, he goes to University of Missouri. And he's from Springfield, so he's, I don't know if his buddies came here before. He's only 22, so, but just really sad. Let me get to channel. Let me get to chat here. So he's last seen on this camera crossing here. And then this is really interesting. Is his last cell phone pings at 9:58. And then he is actually seen on another camera near so there's 2 bridges. We've got this Woodland Street. And then there's the I'm going to say James Patterson, but it's something like that. But this other one here.
That is the very last sighting of Riley Strain.
And so we're going to look at some interviews with the family to give us some more. Because he had a cell phone and he had an Apple Watch. So it'd be interesting to know what they can get off his Apple Watch. Now, I'm not a big Apple user, but I know that there's some really great apps on there. BGOG, thank you so much for the Canadian $10. Says Drone Fun. Thank you so much, BGOG. That is so awesome. Thank you so much for the support. For those who have been with me, we've been doing this for many years, and can't wait to go out and help some people. No, I was not the bouncer. I was just the door greeter. And the ID guy, checking IDs. I actually had the bouncer sit next to me, watching me. But yeah, I was not the bouncer. Even though I'm a tall guy, I was definitely skinnier back then. Renee O'Neill with the $5 donation. Thank you so much, Renee. I really appreciate that. And Sensei, good to see you. Member for now 15 months. Love the Mob Crew family. Thanks for all you do, Chris. Thank you so much, Sensei. You are so awesome. All right.
Right next to Cumberland River. And so that seems to be where the police are focusing their search. On foot and by boat and in the air. Riley's family and
so
friends
there's
have
the
come to
hotel.
help out. And
Tempo Hotel. So as you can see where the bar is at, sadly he should have went, and we're kind of looking at this north-south. So he should have went west, but sadly went northeast.
2 of them are with me live tonight. Chelsea Strain is Riley's cousin, and Chris Dingman is a friend of the family. Thank you both for coming on the program tonight. Chelsea, can I just start with you? Are there any updates yet? Anything that the police have told you?
No, a lot of people are trying to keep me out of it as much as possible. Chris knows a lot more. The family's mostly talking to him about it.
Chris, do you know anything?
There are details.
Have you heard anything, Chris? Any up?
And I just want to note, some of these, obviously, these interviews some of them are recent, some of them are a couple days old. They apparently, I believe, did some kind of press conference today, because it was posted on the Facebook group today. And I haven't been able to really watch the whole thing because I was just about to start the live show. So we'll definitely look at that and see what else updates they'll give us.
Updates from the last bit?
Yes, actually this evening we had a candlelight vigil here for Riley at his hometown in Springfield, and we had an excellent turnout. Literally moments before we went to the vigil, I was talking to family members that are currently downtown Nashville searching, and we have found another homeless person that had acknowledged Riley had been in that area. This now makes 2 people that has done confirmation. These are areas that the camera had stopped. We don't have any footage, and basically the areas where his phone quit pinging. But we now do have visual confirmation from 2 different homeless camps that Riley was in that area.
Did the first or second homeless witness lend any more information to the tracking? Like, we have just been mapping out that tracking. Did this new witness, this new homeless person, lend any useful information to the search?
Where we're at right now, and it's still a little confusing because this literally come about 5 minutes before we went to the other vigil tonight. I don't remember which bridge which homeless person has been, but it is in same conjunction of what we have been thinking. Riley was heading north on 1st Street, and it was in that area that both camps, which under my standing, there's 2 large bridges right there, which have large homeless camps
James
underneath
Robertson.
them. I think in each camp, Riley was seen in each one.
It's fascinating and still so perplexing. Chelsea.
Now, from what I understand, is one of the homeless camps, I don't know if anybody's local to this area and can correct me, I believe one of the homeless camps are actually on the other side, which would mean that he actually made it across the bridge and then went down, and the homeless camp would obviously be down by the river area. And we'll look at that here a little bit later. But I do know one is located. I don't know if they're both located on the other side.
See, your cousin is 6'7" and 160 pounds. I mean, that is a very, very unique build. I don't know if I've ever met anybody that tall and that slim. And yet, not more people are able to say, oh, I absolutely saw that guy that night.
Yeah, we haven't really heard. I know there's not a lot of people that are coming out talking. I know they did a few interviews of the people that they've got camera footage from that they saw him, but it's hard to watch the video and know that there were so many people around him and saw him, and none of them have really came to talk or came to say anything, or if they saw him go in a certain direction.
And certainly that can change, Chelsea, because it's getting a lot of coverage on television, the case of Riley's disappearance. And hopefully that will yield someone from that night who actually sees these videos and remembers, yeah, I was there, and I do remember seeing that guy. Because again, you know, he's very unique. His stature is very, very unique.
Yeah.
When you see the videos, Chelsea, what do you see in the video? Do you see your cousin, or do you see something very unlike your cousin?
I do not see Riley in any of those videos. That's just, I've never seen him like that, and I've been with him many, many times and many.
So this is where obviously questions are raised, is could he have been slipped something at the bar? It's not like it wouldn't be the first time. It's certainly a possibility that he was drugged and intoxicated, which is a terrible combination. Or he was severely intoxicated, and then he hits his head on this cement pole, and he gets possible concussion, just theory. But clearly he hits his head, and he's running at this pole, sadly. I would think, I wouldn't be surprised if there was some kind of, trauma to his head. And now from that, when you're seeing him cross for the last time, I mean, the way he's walking, and I think this is what she's referring to, the way he's walking here is really, I mean, it still looks like a drunk stumble, but it still is odd.
Certain occasions, and I've never seen him act or walk like that ever.
And it's not normal for him to wander off by himself, want to be alone, maybe take a couple days, just sort of check out?
No, all of us are very
by yourself.
close with our families. We talk to, I know Riley and I both talk to our moms more than twice a day. We call, check in. We don't really like to be alone. We're very friendly people. We like to be around people all the time. So for him to wander off by himself and not just stand there or try to wait somewhere for his friends is just not like him.
So, Chris, I'm going to ask you the same kind of question with sort of a twist. When you see the video of Riley struggling, it doesn't seem like his friends were intoxicated at the same level. And there are a lot of people who have some theories about that. Do you?
We have some theories about possibly what would have happened at the bar. It's been wild that we've had such an excellent outpouring of people from Nashville, one trying to help find Riley, sending us information. We've had people that has sent us case situations of something similar to Riley's. We've had over 100 of those sent to us in the last 3 years.
And I think some of those you might be referred to as people, because I was looking at, when I was looking up some of these videos on YouTube and I was looking at some of the comments, I'm actually going to pull up one of those. A lady claims that she had gone to this bar a year ago or something like that. And I can't remember, we'll look at the comment, but I believe a friend of hers, or it might have been her, said that she came out and she believed that she was drugged. But I don't think that would be the only bar. Obviously, we've heard stuff like that happen at other bars. I don't think it's just isolated to that, but it's still a possibility. Real quick, get the chat. Gail Hurd gifting a Mob Crew membership. Thank you so much, Gail. She has gifted a lot of Mob Crew memberships over the past few months. Thank you so much, Gail. Sensei, Drone Fund. The Mob Crew, I think, is my favorite true crime channel. Chris, you are kind. You empathize and always deliver facts with dignity and respect. Thank you so much, Sensei. It is my pleasure and honor. And one more, Miranda Lee, love you, Chris. Mob Crew family, thanks for 1 year. Oh yeah, you're hitting your 1 year mobversary. That's awesome. I appreciate everyone here and your coverage, Chris. Thanks for all you do. You guys are awesome. Raina, thank you so much for the PayPal. And if I forget somebody, let me know in chat, and we're going to continue on.
That's happened there. Me personally, I've known Riley since he was born, and he's like one of my kids. I do not see him. Riley was very loving, very affectionate. He was extremely non-confrontational, which amazed a lot of people. He is a very tall kid. We called him our little sailboat because he was just so skinny he could just blow anywhere. But the things that we were told that happened in the bar situation just does not track with the Riley that we have known and been with our entire life. Several people that was in the vicinity at that bar has made the same comments watching the videos. Other fraternity brothers from even the past that has been brothers with Riley. We've yet to have anybody that said, oh yeah, I've seen Riley in a position like that before. We want to
So here's a look. So this will give you a good idea. Now, this is about a block, almost a block. I mean, he's not far from Luke's, but he's going to be going down the road where we get to see the first video where he's kind of sprinting. And yeah, I know it's, was he sprinting? I mean, if he was sprinting from somebody, you would think if he was being chased, he slams into a pole. So if there's someone chasing him, they would have caught up to him. So I don't think that's the case. I mean, obviously we don't know, but we don't really, and we'll have to look at, maybe if we can overlay all the videos and see if there's any of the same people, especially that would be after he passes, but a lot of it's after he passes, it cuts off. It would be curious to note. But anyway, here is just before he's going to be seen for the first time, at least for the surveillance that we have, where he hits his head. So you can see this is, it ain't no San Francisco hills, but, this is definitely downhill. And it's right past this, I don't know if this is like a little taco stand right here. So I don't know. It could be maybe he was crossing the street. It's weird because the video just kind of starts with him running. I've been trying to find more, if there's like more video to it before and or after. But he's going to slam into one of these poles, and it's on the right here. But that it would be this one. I feel like, yeah, I think this is the one here. Then he slams into. And so you can see it's downhill. And then the next video is actually right here. Where he's walking and he's holding his head. And he's kind of passing right here. And then the final footage that has been released to the public would be this intersection where he... But yeah, oh man. Yeah, see, I think there he's clearly lost. To me, I think, yeah, he had some head trauma. Who knows what else before that, if it's just intoxication. But man, that's terrible.
You and I last talked. Any updates from the investigation you're able to share with us?
Still pretty few. I mean, not quite moving as fast as what we'd hoped. We still don't have the watch data. We do know from our meeting yesterday that they have seen the footage inside and outside of Luke Bryant's bar now, which made us feel a little better. Ryan can tell you exactly the footage we're needing now. We're still trying to get camera footage off of buildings that are where we have the last known video of.
Yeah.
So we need that kind of help immediately.
Let's talk about some of that footage. We got our hands on that footage, just hours after we talked to you a couple days.
Yeah, it is weird. I mean, why is he running there? The intersection's kind of just right here.
Ago, showing.
So weird. I can tell you exactly the footage we're needing now. We're still trying to get camera footage off of buildings that are where we have the last known video of.
Yeah.
So we need that kind of.
Yeah, because like I said, I was built like him. I wasn't as tall. I mean, I was a tall, skinny kid, and yeah, it didn't take much to get me drunk either. Although I've only had one or two incidents that I got, over intoxicated. But
to help immediately.
Let's talk about
160 pounds.
We got our hands on that footage just hours after we talked to you a couple days ago, showing Riley walking downtown. There's one part in the video where he stumbles. I'm sure you've watched all of this by now. Yeah, there he is right here highlighted. What do you make of this video? And did you or police pick up on anything else that was odd from any of this surveillance?
Yeah, the first two videos in the timeline are extremely odd to us.
Yeah, it is weird that he's running. I mean, you don't see anybody, chasing him, at least in the footage that we know of. And I'm sure, even though nobody did anything, you would think somebody would have seen, I don't know, would have mentioned something, if this guy was being chased. But, I mean, you never know.
We're really wondering why somebody didn't help, why somebody didn't call the police, make a 911 call saying, hey, there's a student or an individual that is in need, we need everybody's help. If you've seen him, please help us.
Please call.
Speaking, to just go off that point you just made, my own mother is now following this story intently. I mean, she wants to know what has happened to your son. My mom was also wondering, do you want that bar to be liable? We know that Riley was asked to leave because he had been overserved. I mean, do you want that bar to be held responsible at all for not making sure that Riley, I don't know, got in an Uber or was in?
Yeah, I think there needs to be a system where, if they're going to kick somebody out, they need to speak with them and make sure they have, because obviously if you're kicking them out, they're over intoxicated. I think there should be some kind of, I don't know, law or whatever, some kind of, where basically if they're going to kick him out, they got to make sure, he's got somebody to escort him to safety from there. Because obviously if they're kicking him out, he's over intoxicated. He's not, anybody's not going to be in the right mind to make it to where they're going safely. And hopefully maybe they can learn from this. I mean, like I said, when I worked at the bar, I know back then we really, watched out for the females. But yeah, it should be for all genders. And
it's just hands once he left their premises.
But I just wanted to mention, if you came in here, maybe missed the first part, he did come with his college friends. They're not from here. They're from Springfield. At least I know he is. And I don't know how long they were supposed to be, if this is kind of like a weekend thing. But so obviously he's not familiar with the area. He goes the wrong way. His hotel's the opposite way that the way he went, more or less. And but his friends did try to, they couldn't leave with him, so they had to go and pay their tab. And for some reason, he's not in his right mind, and he stumbles off. By the time they pay their tab and walk out, he is now gone. And
I feel like there needs to be some accountability put somewhere. This stuff shouldn't be going on, putting people out if they're in.
Yeah, I would think so too.
Kind of condition. There needs to be some accountability. But right now we're staying focused on the direction we need to go with the investigation. We feel like time is very critical at this point, and there's camera footage that needs to be reviewed that seems to be going slower than what we.
Yeah, we'll look at that cactus.
We're in several days, and we're not getting answers about where his last known location was.
Michelle, at one point you see Riley in one of these videos, you see Riley stopping, almost unsure of where to go.
Yeah.
Reports say Riley told his friends he was walking back to the hotel. Based on what you've seen from that footage, was he even going in the right direction back to where they were staying?
No.
He is not. It looks like he's turned around.
Yeah.
And confused.
And it's sad because I wonder if he just kind of went with the momentum of it being downhill and that being obviously the wrong way, and that he's drunk and he's trying to keep his balance up, and he's just going with the momentum, sadly. And maybe that's why he's running. He's I don't know, just got momentum and is trying to not fall over. I mean, who knows? You can only speculate, but it's terrible.
As to where he is. I mean, he's in a strange town.
Yeah.
It's hard for a mom to see, and it's hard for me to see all these people around him and not helping him.
Any idea if he hopped in an Uber? Have you checked his Uber history? Is he the type of young man to get in a car with somebody he didn't know?
There's not anything to indicate that he grabbed an Uber. It wouldn't be like him to jump in a car with anybody else.
Yeah,
But it's not like him to go in the direction of the area that he was last seen either. So there's still a lot of questions that we're very trying to be patient, waiting on answers on.
Absolutely. I also know we mentioned that candlelight vigil was held for Riley.
Yeah, so like I said, because there's more people coming in, we'll look at the footage again, and we'll kind of try to slow-mo all the 3 sequences, and kind of slow them down and everything. And I can increase the lighting and stuff.
Last night. How has the outpouring of support helped you through this process as a family?
I feel like it's what's getting us through. We have a lot of
Yes.
people. We feel everybody's prayers. Please continue. Please continue to share his story.
One thing I want to mention, it's odd though, it's so weird. His last cell phone ping, now I don't know if that means his cell phone died shortly after. But man, what would be the coincidence that shortly after he stumbles out of this bar that his phone dies, just after he's last seen on these couple of cameras. But then, yeah, again, he still has this Apple Watch, which I don't know what apps he's got on. I think there's like, Life 360. I'm not an Apple guy, but I know there's a lot of great apps, obviously keep track of certain things, GPS, that could also help them if they could get a hold of that data. Here is I don't know if you guys could probably read that. I'll read it for you. This was a comment somebody made. It really gives me pause that it happened at the same place, Luke Bryan's, where my family member experienced something similar this past summer. An EMT at the time told her that it's been happening frequently there. Same story. Someone gets more intoxicated and gets kicked out of the establishment, loses their friends, wakes up somewhere they're not supposed to be. In my relative's case, she was taken to the hospital where she found out she had been drugged. It's definitely scary. And then says she's sending prayers for the Riley family. Obviously, we don't know if that's, 100% true or not. I would like to think she's telling the truth. But I'm assuming that's, it's not just this bar. We know that this is not this has happened before in regards to people being drugged. This is, okay, so a little bit of update on some things. Today we worked to confirm as much of Riley Strand's last known path as we could. I got some new surveillance videos. So this is probably like 3 or 4 days old. But there's really nothing beyond the James Robertson's Parkway Bridge in Gay Street area. The family had initially accidentally told me Jefferson Street Bridge, but they meant James Robertson. His bank card has not been used. That's very interesting to know. So if he was robbed, I think his cards would have been used. His phone pinged last at 9:58, which we just talked about. His entire family has been in town for days, tirelessly hitting the pavement. We're also looking into the legal responsibilities these bars have in all this, and how Riley got separated from his group at Luke Bryan's bar. Riley's biological father, Ryan Gilbert, said that Riley was escorted out of the bar for intoxication. However, there was no hostility. He said Riley's friends were separated from him because they still had to pay their tab. By the time they got out of the bar, Riley was gone, sadly. Okay, if I get chance, Lee, I will check my email. Gosh, I had to do a bunch of stuff before I went live because I'm having issues with my email again. Nadia, over at Austin, Texas, the people that have been drugged in bars and then thrown into the lake. It's Bird Lake is one of them. We covered that story as well. It's very similar to the smiley face murders. It's only a theory. It's never been proven that this is all connected, but there are some really strange similarities and bullet points where you have a young college male, typically male college student, goes to a bar, gets separated from the group, and then is either seen stumbling out or not seen at all, and then they are found in a body of water nearby. And it's sometimes weeks later, sometimes months later. And when they find the body, it's almost like the body's it's not, because if it's been months, you'd think they'd been decomposing. When they find the bodies, they're in fairly good shape, meaning it's almost like they were just dumped days prior to when the bodies were found. It's really strange.
Jake Bradley. And Jake, I want to thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to me here on the live desk. As you know, this is an ongoing search, and you are out there in Nashville yourself, and you all just heard from detectives. Can you just give us an insight on what they told you?
Yeah, they kind of just gave us an update. We were able to finally, all in a group, sit down face to face. Just reiterate to us that they have footage. They have where they last seen him. There's holes in it as any street cameras and everything else. They are working really hard to find out where he went after the last footage. They reiterated how much information they have and have gathered over the last few days. Now they've got to take a little bit to kind of process more of it and maybe go back on some and or look at camera footage.
Lindsay says there's a video that some news released. It's one of the same videos we've been seeing, although it's more to the right side, and someone is holding Riley back. Do we know for sure? Then you see him running. Interesting. So there's more to that video before the video where he's running into the pole. There's more before that. Lindsay, if you know where I can find that, just can you let mods, we keep an eye. If you can let me know, if you can email me that where I can find that video, I would definitely like to see that. So we got a little bit more, and then, like I said, there was like a press conference or something earlier today. I wasn't able to record it, but we'll just go to the Facebook discussion group because it was posted there, where they did kind of a press conference and people asked questions, and I didn't really get to listen to it because it was just before I went live. I found it, so so we still got a lot to cover. We've got over 300 people in here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you can, please hit that like button. It helps get this video out there, and Riley Strand's
in the same spots they had to make
case
sure
out there
turned around. Just kind of, it was good to have them here to remind us how hard they're working.
And
this is the cousin to Riley Strand.
I do want to talk about, processing this whole situation as we take a look at this video that was just released yesterday, that surveillance video. And like you said, detectives, they are still putting all of it together. Let's talk a little bit more about the search efforts. I know the entire family basically is out in Nashville right now.
Oh.
What are you all doing, and what are
Okay.
authorities doing to really search for Riley Strand right now?
So we have his parents and a small extra group here. We've done lots of, I say lots, we've done as much searching as we can with time, with also, trying to stay healthy ourselves and talk to news and different media and we've got many non-for-profits reaching out. We've had the opportunity, some of us, to get on the water and search the riverbanks and kind of be boots.
Okay, so I found I don't know if it's a video or it's just screenshots. We'll play this after this interview. This is about halfway over. I kind of shortened it. There's a few details it gives, but I just wanted to play it because it gives a little bit more about, Riley and what he's like, and a few updates from the family.
On the ground alongside, seeing the efforts by the police and search and rescue. Not only, did it feel good to be looking, but also seeing other avenues doing their search, it helped. We have groups at home that are doing amazing amounts of research and contacting people and helping spread the word, and talking to people he was with, reaching out to more media to get this story spread as fast as it can, and a side-by-side. So I was 12 years-ish older, 14 years older, sorry. Somewhere in there, I'm losing track of time. He's just a good kid. He's not like the kid every time you talk to somebody, like, hey, have you seen this kid? This kid's gone missing. Oh, he'll show up. He's shacked up, or he'll call. It's not this kid. Riley's he's a good kid. He doesn't deserve this. He's just the type of kid, if he was out, and he'd talk to anybody. He's not confrontational. We were told even when he had to leave the bar, he wasn't confrontational there, and just, overserved.
And that's rare. I'm going to say that's super rare, but that's fairly rare. Because like I said, I worked at the bar. I've seen many people get kicked out because I was right there. And yeah, a lot of times they are not happy. And of course they feel like they're just fine, and they're not inebriated, and they've only had a couple of drinks. And yeah, so for him to, this kid just like, okay, yeah, I understand, I'm too wasted. But yeah, to send him off on his own, yeah, they need to have protocols for this kind of stuff. Like I said, we had something similar. I mean, it was usually for females. But yeah, we never, at least when I worked there, I didn't work there for very long. I think it was like 8 months, but we never had any incidences. Everybody made it home safe.
Had to leave, okay. He's a nice young man. Every time he sees my son, he brings him a new toy.
Poor guy.
And I know there was also a clip with another cousin who said that he had a bubbly personality, and that you all were always taught to never go anywhere alone. So knowing that Riley was loved by, or is loved by, so many people, how does it feel knowing that he was alone in that moment? And you've seen the video where he just kind of walks across the street and he's by himself. How does that make you feel?
I can't say that on air.
Not happy.
Angry.
I know, this is gut-wrenching.
Jake, I do want to move on, and I'm not going to take up too much more of your time, but we kind of talked about it before we pushed this out to our social media platforms. But what I have been seeing on Instagram and Twitter is a lot of people asking, why was Riley kicked out of the bar in Nashville on Friday? What can you tell us about that?
College kid, and they heard a bar, he overserved and has to leave. That's all we know, True, false, indifferent. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think my final question to you, Jake, is what message would you leave with our viewers who are tuned in right now, and they'll see this story as the days go on, as the search continues? What would you like for them to know, especially here in Kansas City? What can we do to help you all?
Just keep spreading it. Keep spreading it. the more people that talk about it, the more media that gets into it, the more investigation continues and it doesn't get.
Okay. All right. So I'll play this video that was sent to me. It looks like I might have to download this. I can blow it up better. Let me play this for a minute. This just kind of shows from point A to point B. Give me a second, guys. I'm going to download this. That way I can blow it up better for you guys. This is supposedly some footage before he's running. I haven't seen it quite yet. I got it pulled up. I'm going to download it, so I have to do a couple things. So bear with me real quick. I can't see chat because I've got something else up here. So just bear with me just for a second here. Okay. All right. I might have to do it on Google. Not gonna give me as much grief here. So here is the video. So yeah, that is super tiny. So we're gonna do this real quick. Quickly download this here without watermark, please. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, we're just gonna send that there. All right. I'll play it once, and then I'll have to run this through my video here. Yeah, because that's going to be super tiny. Okay. Yeah, give me a second. Let me feed that into my video player, and I can zoom in much better on that. I'll have to get the original. Okay, let's do this real quick. Bust this out. You guys get to see a little magic behind the scenes here. All right, let me throw this one in there. New project. So this is going to be our S1. Or is it on the desktop? It's on the desktop. Okay, let's take a look at this. Yeah, better do it the same frames. All right, let's. Project settings. We're gonna go widescreen. There we go. Okay, now I can blow this up. How much do we got in there? Okay. All right. Yeah, this is definitely before. Okay, he's running there. He comes out between some cars. I'll move this over just a little bit. Zoom down just a little bit here. Trying to retrace him. So here he is there. Oh, you guys can't see it. Here, let me do this. Okay, now you guys can see it. All right, let me go full. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I thought you guys could hear me. My apologies. I was just fixing the video here. So, you see him running out from the cars, but I don't see where he's being held. So I'm just going to play the video. I think it goes back here. He comes out here. I'm trying to look over here. I mean, there is a man, and then there's somebody. I don't know. I don't see. Can you guys hear me now? You guys can hear me now, right? It's before he goes behind the buildings. Yeah, it's so... Oh, and you guys can't see that other side. Let me just export this real quick. But it is interesting to see the full video of that. Okay. Let me get rid of this. That. Drag that back in. There's that. Okay, one more time. Make sure you guys can see. I made it brighter. I just don't see where he just comes from here. I don't see. I mean, I see a couple people. There's a car by. There's this guy walking. There's this person. Seems like a guy standing there. he comes running out that way. I don't know. I mean, I don't see it. Not to say it's not there. I just see him coming out from that taco stand, running off and slamming into the pole. But this version, obviously, because it's been taken from the original, and then it's been ported to TikTok, and now I've extracted it. The quality's kind of it's lost a little bit of quality in the picture, so it's not the best. I see maybe one or a few people kind of standing around the taco stand, and then he just kind of comes out between the taco stand and this vehicle. It's hard to tell if it's a dead sprint, but he's definitely jogging to, between jogging and sprinting out. I'm curious. That is wild. Thank you for showing that. Yeah, after the show, I'll definitely see if I can get the originals, or at least on that one. I've got the original on a few of them, but not that one. Anyway, so there's more to go over, and there's updates. But here is just kind of a look at the road. In this area right here is, let's see. Oh, just a little bit further.
For them to know.
Oops. All right, this is Church Street. So he's coming from here, and this is where he comes around the corner. This is actually interesting. I wonder if the momentum took him this way, because when he's going down this street, it's more level. But the second he goes this way, because he's coming down the street that we're just walking down, or just strolling down. So he would took this. This looks level. So he would have been strolling, most likely on this side. And so he would have walked, continued walking, and then right here, although this street, the taco stand's not here, he then kind of cuts off. But anyway, what I was going to mention is from here it's downhill. So I don't know if like the gravity and his being unbalanced, it just kind of took him that way. He's kind of walking along and then out of balance, and then he starts, because it's interesting that he's sprinting right when he's now going down this kind of steeper, I wouldn't say steep, but it's obviously it's an angle, but this would be where he's kind of running. And then of course I think some of this stuff isn't there. So anyway, there is one more video, and then we'll play the update. So here's where the Cumberland River is at. He was around this area. There was another video that captures him. That has not been released. Now, they say there's a homeless camp, and there's two of them. I know one of them's on the other side of the Cumberland river, which is supposed to be, I think, somewhere kind of... All right, I probably went too fast. On the other side of this bridge here. And if that's true, that means he could have made it over the bridge. But still, with the water there, who knows? Maybe he turned back around. I hope he didn't, but possibly fell in. It's tough to say. I have to go back and look at it. All I can see from when he comes running, he just comes running out from the taco stand. I don't see anybody. Not to say that they're not there. I know some other people mentioned this person here being suspicious. I don't know what the reason is for that. Other than that, he's just crossing the street just before Riley Strand is now stumbling across the crosswalk. I believe a lady called in, a local, said that she feeds the homeless there and said that she knows quite a bit of the homeless there, and she noticed this one guy that she's obviously seen many times and claimed that he was wearing a shirt just like Riley Strand. Who knows? Could have just been a different shirt or a similar shirt. And it just happened to be a strange coincidence. This guy was wearing, a homeless guy was wearing a shirt similar to his days after he went missing. Could it be connected? Possibly. And we can only speculate.
Police and other visitors.
Here's one more clip, and then we'll get to the press conference.
Who were also downtown last weekend.
It was a pretty busy Friday night here on Broadway when Riley was last seen. 5 days later, still nobody has been able to find him. It's not only bringing up concern in this community, but a conversation that needs to be had about how important it is to act when something's wrong.
I can't even, I teared up this morning because I saw the story this morning and I teared up looking at it.
The story and question on everyone's mind.
I really, the biggest hope is that they find him okay.
Where is Riley Strand? The 22-year-old Mizzou student went to Luke Bryan's bar Friday night with a group of fraternity brothers. He left alone. To this day, investigators are trying to figure out where he went. Security video from police and nearby businesses showed the approximate path he took, stumbling from Broadway to 3rd Avenue, then Church to Gay Street near the river, where officials searched this week.
We were all looking through our phones, looking at cameras at our photos from that night to see if we could see anything on the street, and none of us could.
Mackenzie McGuire says she was also out Friday night. Never saw Riley, but would have helped if she could have.
We could have definitely helped that night. We could have approached him. We could have called the police. We could have called an Uber.
All things Metro Police say you can do if you feel comfortable. If you don't, find a nearby police officer or security guard to help.
Thinking, oh, I'm a guy, nothing is gonna happen to me, or my friend will be fine, or whatever. And I feel like with girls, it's a lot more. We know we need to stick together, and I feel like that all needs to change because everyone needs to stick together.
Both she and Andrea Baugh from Nashville say staying in groups, a common practice among women, can be life-changing for anyone.
In the middle of having fun, you can put fun on hold to make sure that someone gets to where they need to go.
Nikki Hauser, News Channel 5.
All right, let's look at the press conference, which I have not seen fully. And what is this? Oh, that's weird. And if anybody knows where I can find, I'm assuming I can find it in this discussion group. Okay, so this is the video. This is, okay, so this has got to be the video people are talking about. All right, let me put this all the way up. Oh. All right, let me pull back to chat. Jocelyn, member for, oh, just hit your mobversary. That's so awesome. So glad to be a part of this channel. Thank you so much, Jocelyn, for everything and your amazing mod skills. I really appreciate it. This is a zoomed in version. People are saying this is where he's being held, I think. Okay, I can make out 2 bodies. I don't know if there's a third person there. Truck behind him. It does look like, okay, now I see this. Okay, it does look like this person is holding on to this person, but I can't tell if that's him or not. And I don't think that's him. This person's not that tall. I don't think that's him. He would have been coming from the, he would have been coming the other way. He should be walking this way, coming to the right of the screen. Now that doesn't mean he could have came to the right of the screen and it got dragged the other way. That's possible. This guy's supposed to be 6'6". This person looks like they're almost the same size as this person. So they could have been just holding hands crossing the street. I mean, he should have been coming from the other way. And if there was a confrontation, it should have been coming. Not saying it's not, but the guy doesn't look tall. It looks almost like 2 females to me. I mean, the one that's standing out looks more like a female. I don't know. I'd have to play with it and run some different filters on it. Man, I would love to get my hands on the original. But that is interesting. But he should have been coming from the other way. So leave it with that. Okay, where is this press conference? Oh no. Where? Should have been right at the top here. There was literally a press conference that was posted like 2 hours ago. Oh, I don't see it. Oh, is it? No, I don't think this one. Oh, maybe this is it. Oh, maybe this is just from a different angle. Okay. 4 hours ago. Yeah, watch. Okay, so. Okay, yeah, maybe this is it. This is it. Facebook. Kill me. Kill me.
I'm going to go over with you now where the investigation stands at this point.
Okay, I don't think this can be loud enough, so let me run a volume booster. Okay, careful. I don't know how this is going to be.
Sergeant Nielsen. As Don has already mentioned, we've been out here with our urban search and rescue people today.
We've also utilized my cold case detectives on foot, traveling through the area. We've also used aviation, as well as our police boat, which, as he mentioned, has sonar. In the past couple of days, we've also involved the Office of Emergency Management. They have a boat with sonar, and they also have a drone. We've had their drone operator come out here. And we've also been utilizing our downtown partnership people and just trying to make many contacts of some of the citizens walking through here, including people that live in nearby homeless camps, and have been re-canvassing for video and reaching out to some of the bars and businesses down here, which I'd like to point out that they've all been extremely cooperative with us. And I'm open to any questions you have. So the last thing we had on the phone information was all of the pings that they did were based on exigency, so we were able to get that. Apple has been very helpful with us. We're still waiting on some phone record information. We're still waiting on that data. However, the last ping that they had was off a cell tower near Top Golf, which is on the other side of the river. However, the radius is about 2 miles, so it doesn't give us a direction to travel or more detailed information. We just know that that's the tower that it hit off of. We're still waiting on the phone records. We don't have the information quite back on the Apple Watch. I didn't know this. I'm not an Apple person, but apparently it has its own separate phone number. So that's one of the things that we're also waiting on, is data from that as well. It doesn't tell us exactly why they went down. There could be a variable number of reasons of why both of those went down, from we don't know how long he had them charged to, turned them off. I mean, any number of things. But the data right now, the rest of it, his phone records and so forth, we're still waiting on. We know that the last ping off that tower was between 9:55 p.m. and 10 p.m. And I believe the last phone conversation or attempted conversation by one of his friends was also during that same time. That was the last time anybody had any kind of interaction with him on the phone.
We'll talk about our cameras, Bob, what we know from the cameras.
Thank you. With the camera footage that we have right now, the last known footage we have of Mr. Strain was coming in this direction, which would be towards us in the northerly direction. It caught him between the James Robertson Bridge and Woodland Street Bridge, traveling this way. He was on foot. There was nobody else around him that we can see. We do have some cameras on the back of our Birch building, which is our courthouse here. However, it doesn't catch him crossing the path of that, and they would have caught anybody on either side of the Gay Street connector. So at this point, we're kind of back canvassing, if you will, going back, possible route he may have taken from Broadway up 3rd, down towards Church Street, down in this direction, to look for any other cameras we may have missed, as well as look for any other potential employees at some of these businesses that we can talk to that may not have been here past few days, but might have been here Friday night. So we're still going back and looking for more cameras and more witnesses. No, there's absolutely no indication whatsoever there's any kind of foul play or other crime involved. This is strictly a missing person investigation at this point. Obviously, those things can always change. We just don't know. But right now, all of our resources are dedicated towards finding him. We're not conducting a criminal investigation of any type. So we're utilizing all of our detectives and our other resources, as we mentioned, in just looking for him, because like I said, there's no indication he was in a fight or argument with anybody on the street, as far as we know right now, or anybody in any establishment he may have visited. So we're just solely looking at this as a missing person case. So we don't believe, based on the information we have so far from financial institution, that he utilized any kind of ride share. However, I know that I believe the family or someone has reached out asking if they may have caught him on video, because as we all know, a lot of your ride share partners will have dash cams. And so people have reached out to them, hey, if you see anything, can you send it to us, send it to the police department? But we have not seen any evidence that he would have used that. All the footage that we have so far, he was walking, so there's no indication that he got into a vehicle, whether a cab or a ride share. And then, of course, until we get his phone records back, we can't see if he utilized any one of those types of applications as well. I don't. There was no real interaction between the two because that officer was dealing with that other situation. Any other questions? Oh, yeah. So I was just telling them that basically we've been utilizing our urban search and rescue people as well as our police boat. They've gone up and down the bank. They've made multiple sweeps. Urban search and rescue has checked several areas, including any dilapidated buildings, as well as there's a storm drain that people will use sometimes. So they've been doing that, as well as we've had our cold case detectives actually walking the Greenway all the way up towards Jefferson Street, because there's a lot of residential new buildings up there that you can't get to by vehicle. You can get to the buildings, but you can't get behind them. So we're trying to utilize everybody on foot, on boat. We've utilized aviation. Office of Emergency Management has come out the past couple of days, couple of times, both with the boat, with sonar, as well as with their drone. And then also, I don't know if many of you are familiar with the Cajun Navy, United Cajun Navy. There's a couple different organizations from Louisiana, but they also have members in other states, including Tennessee. They've also come up here to assist us with an airboat and some of their resources from private organizations to also assist in the search for Riley. It's just a natural progression. You know, with a missing persons case, people go missing for various reasons. Some are voluntary, some are not. Some could be due to a medical incident. Right now, we have no idea what happened with this gentleman. We don't believe that there's any crime involved, however. So all of our resources right now are dedicated towards locating him, and then once we find him, to try to see if there's any kind of, medical attention, something that he may need. And obviously, we're looking for a positive outcome. And so, but we're open to all the information that we get. We're still utilizing our Crime Stoppers. A lot of people think that that's just for crimes, homicides, robberies, so forth. But we've also utilized that for people calling in. And I've been getting Crime Stoppers tips every single day regarding possible sightings or any information that people think that they have. I mean, you name it, people call us, we're checking it out. We've also provided our information. Contact us, either me directly by email, my lead detective, or our public information office, our social media, Facebook, Instagram, all that. So we're utilizing absolutely every resource we can possibly think of at this point. There's no reason to believe that he's been a victim of a crime, and I can't possibly think of any other resource we could utilize that we haven't used or are using right now. Yeah, he's been entered into NCIC, which is very common. So when we do a missing person report, when that's entered into NCIC, and as we boloed that information, we've pushed it out to some of our partner, like Sumner County, Cheatham County, THP, and so forth. They usually get that information. Our fusion centers tend to push a lot of that information out as well. So that information has pretty much been disseminated. Yes, ma'am. That's true. So actually back in this direction, this first bridge is James Robertson Parkway. The next bridge is Woodland Street. He was last seen between those two bridges traveling in this direction, and that's the last footage that we have. I think that was around 9:52, 9:53, somewhere in that range. There's actually a large homeless encampment that's down the riverbank. And we actually made contact with some of those people today. Our urban search and rescue people talked to them. They even let us search that area, because that's treated like a domicile where some of them are. So they've been very helpful as well. And so we're just utilizing everybody we can talk to in this area, but that's the last known area. So what they told you is accurate. They just didn't know that the homeless encampment was down there. So.
Yeah, so at that point, once he's off camera, we don't know if he went down or got in a car. We don't know anything. It's because it's off camera, right?
Correct, and as I mentioned to them, there are cameras on the back of the Birch building, but they would have caught anybody on either side of the street, but there's nothing to indicate he came this way. So we also utilize the camera. There's a pole camera right there as well, and it doesn't show him in this direction. So in the event that he could have possibly have doubled back and the other camera that we last saw him on didn't catch him, both actually all detectives that we have out on this, as well as the security people that watch the parking garage, and the families themselves. I mean, we've had 3 different groups literally go through that parking garage for the past 2 days, just in case they've missed an open door, the safety netting in case somebody somehow went over the side. They've checked everything that they can over there, and security was checking again for us today, just because there's always that possibility the camera didn't catch him going back across, and maybe he went back up to James Robertson through that parking garage, as well as the stairs on the outside of the parking garage. Not that we've seen on video. I know some people that have called in have thought there was, but we haven't seen any evidence of that. I was told today that there was a homeless gentleman that may have actually seen him, like close proximity, like from me to you. So we're actually trying to find that individual right now to see if he can provide us with more information, but we haven't been able to find him so far. Yes, ma'am. It's just like when we have a homicide, we try to have one point of contact, whether it's one parent, 2 parents, an aunt, whoever is kind of the spokesperson for the family, just because the nature of the investigation can be so cumbersome that it's hard for us to answer multiple questions. Like if there's 15 of you out here right now, realistically, we may not have the time to talk to actual 15 individual people, right? That's why we have public information officers, or like here, we're doing a quick briefing on it. So usually what we'll do, and as I've spoken to mom and dad today, was everything will go through them. So they have multiple ways to contact me. Any questions they have, even from other family, I've asked them to direct it to mom and dad, let mom and dad contact us, because otherwise it gets to be the telephone game, and then misinformation gets out there. And in this case, it's a missing person, but if it was a homicide, then we risk the chance of affecting the integrity of that case. And obviously we don't want to put everything out in a homicide. In this case, we're putting everything out because it's a missing person. But it still helps to have just one point of contact, just because everybody wants to know, but they also have to understand that for us to do our job effectively, we're utilizing literally everybody that we have that we can at the moment. And so if I have like 5 detectives here today, and they're all handling phone calls, well, then I don't have any detectives out here looking for this gentleman. So that's why it's easier just to have 1 or 2 points of contact. And 9 times out of 10, the families are extremely understanding, extremely cooperative, and they totally understand where we're coming from, and we've always had a good exchange with that. Right now, as far as I know, it's just ours, and then some of the local groups, like I said, the Cajun Navy. I just was contacted yesterday by somebody, I think he works a task force with the state of Tennessee, so we're going to be reaching out to him as well. But right now, there's not really been a need for other resources based on everything we have between USAR, all the equipment, aviation, as well as the Office of Emergency Management, so I guess you can count them as an outside source, but I don't really, because they work hand in hand with us on so many other incidents. But if it goes to a point where we think we need additional help, whether it's state or federal, we have no problem immediately contacting them and requesting that assistance.
What's the plan?
Pretty much recanvassing for video, looking for any other people that we can talk to, pretty much. Reaching out to other officers. A lot of our officers in patrol have really good rapport with the people in the communities, neighborhoods that they work. And so a lot of them get to know a lot of the homeless population. So if we say, hey, we're looking for John Doe, because he may have information, there's some amazing patrol officers that we have that know everybody in their area, and they can help us find that. So that's one of the things we'll be utilizing. And a lot of it now at this point is just filtering all the information. As I said, we've been getting just dozens of Crime Stoppers tips every day, pretty much since this has started. And so it takes time to go through all of those, scrutinize that information, make certain that, you know, there could be a viable lead. A lot of them, as you can imagine, is just frivolous information, and I'll leave it at that. So you have to kind of filter that to know what you need to spend time on. Because just like with the Christmas Day bombing, we got all kinds of crazy things that came into us, so you have to know what to prioritize. But that's a good thing, too, about having as many detectives as we have, because with cold case, we're all in the same office as homicide, and homicide alone has 28 detectives. plus I have 7, so that.
Okay. Yeah, some interesting details there. Let me pull up the Google map because he shared one interesting thing, kind of confirming something that we didn't know. Let me pull this up here. So here is the map. Here is Luke's bridge, the bar. So we'll just kind of look at that. So here's the bar here. He comes out, and he actually goes down 3rd Ave, so he would have traveled this way. Now, unfortunately, he should have been with his friends. Unfortunately, his friends were trying to pay their bill, and for some reason, he sadly just kind of stumbled off. By the time they got out, he was gone, but his hotel is back this way, but he went this way, across the street, which is a shame. Maybe he got confused on which street. And of course, if you just tuning in, he's not familiar with this area. But yeah, he went down this way a couple blocks, and then that's when he took a right. So he goes down, and then Church Street is where he comes, and then he's spotted running down. So he would have traveled down, and then as you notice, when it starts to go downhill is when he starts running. So I just wonder if he kind of came through. So this is what I was talking about. The video is he, we see these people kind of walking, and it looks like they're just kind of holding hands, and they're kind of crossing the crosswalk. Because he would have been coming this direction, and he's actually spotted coming around this way. Well, I mean, I don't see him this way. I'll have to look for it. But he would have came originally from this direction and then cut through, ran, hit the pole, and continued down, which then it's just downhill. And then this camera is where he's last one that we have for the public. Anyway, let's... this one here. But this is what's interesting that they shared. So he continued this way, and there's a camera somewhere around here. Maybe it's on this bridge, maybe. He spotted somewhere here, and they said that there's another camera just past this bridge. This is the James Robertson Bridge, the bigger one. This is the smaller one. They said he was caught between these two bridges. There's a homeless encampment just down this embankment here. And they said that the camera that's over here... Oops. Can I get to it? I don't know where the camera is at. But they said that there's a camera over past this bridge, and he wasn't on it. That means he clearly had to have gone most likely this way. Now, he could have been picked up. That's definitely a possibility as well. But you have the fence, but then, of course, you can obviously just go around this little thing here. And then apparently one of the homeless camps is down this embankment. But that's interesting that between the camera here and a camera over here, he's somewhere lost around here. So something happened. They said that they still didn't get his phone. They're still waiting on his phone records, which I think will be huge, because his last phone ping was down the street back here. But although he was caught on camera one more time, which we still haven't seen that footage. But yeah, someone wanted to see the river. This is the river. And yeah, it's big. Curves around, and then it's massive over there. But this is, if he fell in, this would be the area. So, oh man, it's it's terrible because when you have missing people in a body of water, it's never good. And then mixed in with obviously alcohol and likely some kind of head trauma, concussion on top of that. Who knows? Just bad circumstances all the way around. So let's see here. I got sent one more thing. Let me see what I got sent. Just one more time. I'm just gonna pop this up. So, anyway, so we're gonna be going out a month from today. On the 13th of April, we're gonna be going out and searching for a missing boy, Aiden Clune. We searched for him last year, and we're gonna search for him this year. We've been involved in a lot of missing person cases. And anyway, we're trying to raise some funds for a new drone because I need a new drone. The last one I had is it's just not that good. And anyway, so if you would like to donate through PayPal or whatever, Venmo, or through YouTube, that would help. To those that could, thank you so much. Let me see what else I got sent. And okay, so this is another TikTok video. Okay, let me
there's definitely way more to the story. We want to find Riley first.
Okay, is this the one? All right, I think this is the one you sent me. Oops. Copy. All right, let me play on this one here. No, that's not it. Copy. Why is it not?
There's definitely way more.
Okay, let me just bring this over.
We want to find Riley first, and then put the story together.
Surveillance video clips have been shared countless times. It's the last time Riley Strain was seen walking from downtown Nashville after he was reportedly kicked out of the Luke Bryan's bar on Friday. Dingman is now calling on anyone who owns a dash or surveillance camera to look back onto Friday evening.
We're just trying to find outlets to reach out to anybody that could have possibly had a dash cam, commercial, Uber, Lyft.
Chris Dingman says his son grew up with Riley in Springfield, Missouri. This is their most recent picture together.
Primary search has been between the hours of 9 and 11 p.m. On Friday evening.
But now Dingman wants to expand the search window to 24 hours after Riley was last seen, as the family has been overwhelmed with potential leads.
Fortunately, we're going to have 1,000 leads. 2 of them will lead us in the right direction, and there will be a bunch of stuff in there that you're not prepared to handle.
Huh. Interesting. Thank you, Lee, for sending both of those. And I am going to keep my eye out for the extended version of this video so I can get the original so it's better. And then I'll maybe do a short and see if I can work with the video and highlight this couple. Because in my opinion, I think that's just a couple holding hands, crossing. And again, they're coming from the other way. And they look like the same height. And that's the big thing is those 2 people, although it's very grainy, they look like the same height. And we know Riley is 6'6", 6'7", so this guy should have been towering over this other person. I doubt there's 2 6'7" people, and one's holding the other. Not to say it's not that it didn't happen, but I don't think so. I'll play it one last time. God, I hate Windows. Why do they do that? But yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to get this original video, because I wouldn't be surprised if we see his head popping over somewhere this way. I was curious. I don't. Wait a minute. No, I do see him. Yeah. No, it could be a vehicle. I can almost see something. And one's a vehicle, one might be his head running. Oh, hey, I can see him. No, he's running the other way. I can see it. You guys probably can't unless you're on a big screen or something. I'd have to further analyze this. But right there, you can see his head running. So he's already sprinting though, which is weird. I can see it. He's sprinting this way. The whole holding somebody, thinking he's getting hold over here. They're just about here. I can see his head just barely kind of popping over these cars. Right. Oh, sorry, I didn't back it up enough. Right there. There's his head. And then he's going to come out any second. Yep. So weird. Why is he running? Oh, and then of course he runs into the pole, poor guy. Still weird. It's still interesting though. I mean, he's jogging when it's just regular level. I thought maybe he's just, because of the intoxication, that now he's hitting the, a downward slope, that he just kind of lost his balance and then just kind of went into a sprint. But he's sprinting down the street, which that's level until he's going this way. Then it's downhill. But yeah, you can kind of see his head bob. I'll play it one more time. I'd have to do a video on this. Oops, that's not back enough. He's right there. Yes. Yeah, you can see right here. Yep, there he is. His head's bobbing. And you won't see him for a second. And then, boom. Unfortunately, slowed this down. I wish they would have kept the pace on that. It would have kind of helped. Yeah, I'll have to find the original. This is interesting. There could be something there. I mean, yeah, why is he sprinting down the street? I don't know. Maybe to catch the light, but then he goes the other way. I don't know. That's weird. I don't know. But yeah, I don't think he was being held. And I could see where people, I mean, it does look like someone's being held, but I think that's just two girls holding hands, or it looks like one looks like a female. But yeah, I don't think he's being held there. But it's still interesting though why he's kind of running like that. I don't know. Like he was going to make, because he's coming up to an intersection, and of course they're crossing, so it would have been his, if he would have continued going right, was he thinking, oh, I need to, catch this light before it goes yellow, red, and then switches. I don't know, maybe gravity takes him down this way because he's just, sadly inebriated, and goes towards, the steep or the embankment. It's so tough. But man, it's so sad to see stuff like this. Anyway, let me see if you guys got anything else to share. Let me know. And Leah, I appreciate that, all the ones you sent. And if you are watching this and you know where I can find the original full video of this, let me know. I could work with this, but if I could find the original, I doubt it's going to be any much better. But I may be able to zoom it in and be able to, because you can kind of see his head bobbing a little bit when he's coming this direction. Luna, I'm afraid he's downstream. I would say it's a good possibility. I hope it's not the case, but that would be, as far as percentage-wise, that would be the high probability. And it's not the first time. And that's just missing people in general. They are mostly, when they're found, not safe. When their bodies are found, it's a high percentage is in bodies of water. Is there anything going on with Elijah Vu? No, they haven't found him. And I was just looking at a report. I think some court stuff, but no, nothing major, Pam Jam. I did look just before I went live. I know Madeline Soto, which I know a lot of people have been invested in. It's crazy because Stefan Stearns has got his court date May 13th, which is the same date that the Delphi case is having their trial. So that's going to be wild. And yeah, it'll be interesting to know. I'm assuming Delphi is still going to be more heavily invested, but it'll be interesting to know if they have cameras. Yeah, I don't think he was grabbed. I don't think that incident was related. That's just my opinion. Oh, sorry, Luna. I just saw that. I was going to pull up your comment. The river flows at 265,000 cubic feet per second. What is that mileage-wise? Oh, spelled that wrong. That is... Don't they have that in like mileage? Or 40 feet? Stage. Don't they have like a translation of how fast that is? Sounds fast. Huh. Trying to see. Anyway, I was gonna see how fast that flows. Yeah, it sounds fast. Thank you, Luna, so much for the $1.99. And isn't Brenner and Dylan? I'll have to look and see. I'll write that down, Pam, and keep an eye on that. Another great way to support the channel is becoming a Patreon. I'm going to be making some more videos. I put out 2 last week. Be doing another 2 this week. And then when we go out for the missing, I had tons of behind-the-scene footage, drone footage, on foot, boots on the ground footage when we go out to these searches. And so a lot of that stuff, extra stuff, I upload for the Patreons and members as well. So another incentive to be a member of Patreon. But anyway, I think we're getting closer to our goal. I do appreciate everybody that could donate. I know not everybody's financially in the best spot, but those that could donate, I do appreciate it, because that will go towards the drone that we're trying to save up. We're trying to get to about $1,000. I would say we're about 30% there, somewhere around in there. Still got a bit of ways to go, but we'll be doing that for the rest of the month. And we'll be back live tomorrow. I'm not sure what we're going to cover. There's a lot of cases. Elijah Vu, Madeline Soto. So we'll have to see what case, or maybe we might cover a couple of cases tomorrow. We'll have to see. So with that, thank you to the wonderful mods for helping out. And Deanna May, thanks for that. You made me laugh. Sounds fast. Yeah, sounds fast. Well, yeah, 265,000 cubic feet. I know. I was trying to find some kind of, you know, how many miles per second or feet per second that is. But yeah, sounds fast. And I'm sure it is. And that's just terrible because if it is faster, it is, and the body is in the water, it's sadly going to just go that much further. So anyway, we'll keep an eye on this case. And Miss Ladybug, I remember when you first started your channel, Chris, and now you're 77.6 here to 100K. That'd be so cool to hit 100K and get that play button. Been doing this for 2 years, a little over 2 years, and that would be so awesome. But I couldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys taking the time to watch these shows. So thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to watch. And we will be back tomorrow. I'm probably going to have a video and a live show. The live show will start at the usual time on Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. So with that, I am going to head out. You guys have a wonderful rest of your Thursday, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.